Okay, this quick, well, not so quick video actually, goes on a little bit more detail on how to sketch three-dimensional turned objects. That's things that look like cylinders, cones, spheres, that type of thing. And we're starting very much with the simplest of drawings, a 2D rectangle. In this case, it's a cylinder. You can see the top, we're taking the width from the width of the cylinder, the height, but the lower section, we're going to make that taller. The lower ellipse is going to be taller as we look down on that lower part of this three-dimensional object. Firming in, we just fast forward a wee bit to a firm in here, so we have a smooth line between the ellipse at the top and the straight lines, and carefully trying to join that internal line in. So there's the basics of a cylinder. Now, if that works for a simple thing like a cylinder, we can do it for more complex things. In this case, we're going to have two cylinders sitting in, we're going to have a tapered cylinder or a cone that's been cut from the top. So the upper one would be an ellipse as before, this time slightly smaller diameter. The lower one, well, maybe put the side lines in, give an idea of this cone. So there's a cut cone basic idea. So the lower one, like the cylinder, will be a fuller, fatter, taller cylinder, ellipse. Coming round with the firming in the outline, again, that smooth join between the ellipse and the straight line, trying to get a tangent, a smooth, bump-free or corner-free join between those two. And again, probably best done when sketching from the inside, so moving the page around to work from the inside of that cylinder. Wee mistake on that corner there. This is just showing us warts and all. A little bit, the top's going to be visible, however the base is not. Jumping ahead a wee bit now to a two-cylinder form, maybe something like a small bottle or medicine jar, and it's a small diameter on the top cap and a bigger diameter at the bottom. These have got sharp edges at the moment. So the basic idea, ellipse at the top, lower half of that same cylinder, same but higher, thicker, fuller, fatter on the lower section. And then the cylinder for the upper part of the body will have a same center as the cap. And the lower ellipse would be same again, this taller, fatter type idea. So it's more rounded. As one of the students said, it's like a pita bread once it's been cooked. If that works for you, that works for me. Again, we've got this ellipse happening at the bottom. Maybe not quite so easy to draw it from the outside in this case. But we've got to firm in the bits we're going to see as hide, the bits we're not going to see around the back. So we've got this upper cap sitting on top and then the cylinder underneath. Now these are very much drawing on top of the 2D drawing. So whatever you have in proportion, full size or to scale, or even just as a rough indication sketch, you put on as best you can that upper cylinder around the centre line slightly off centre at the moment. And we're going to pop this one onto a conic or cone-like base. So from the 2D view, very quickly we're going to start sketching ellipses, fuller ones in the lower half, using the wider one on the same point, but again fuller as it comes round. The bottom of this same cylindrical part, although it won't be the base of the unit, fatter, fuller again at the bottom there, so more rounded ellipse down here. And then unfortunately I've not got the camera mounted up quite right. The base of the cone itself, or that conic cone-shaped part, is fuller at the bottom. So again, apologies for the camera work on this. Unfortunately, I can't actually see what we're filming as I'm doing this, so it's a little bit of a hit or a miss, but you'll see the end result in a minute. Coming around there, there's the upper cylinder for one part, the cap. Then we have the bit that's going to be seen and hidden round behind. The change between the cylinder and the cone should be visible but not overly reinforced, because it's the base which I can't see in this particular view. So we'll move it around in a minute and hopefully you'll see that three-dimensional form coming up, and try and avoid those sharp corners, a little bit of a sharp corner at the bottom right. So that's the line drawing, that's the basics. 2D, in proportion, centre line, widths either side, ellipses getting fuller, more rounded as you go down. In this case, we're getting bigger diameters all the way. Now there are occasions when that's not always the case. In this one, we're now going to add a little bit of tone, just using the same pencil. These sketches all in pencil on this brown paper, although a lot of the sketches we've been doing up until now are in pen. So the light assumed to come from the upper left-hand corner. Round object doesn't have a well-defined edge between one surface and the next. So it's a graduated tone from the dark side, which we're working on at the moment, which will be towards the right, gradually getting lighter towards the middle. Now in the cylinders these are vertical, but on the cone they tend to fan or radiate out from where the top would be. Apologise for the noise in the background. And we're doing it more or less the same on both sides, despite the fact the light's coming from the top left. If we do this more or less the same on either side, and then add density, add darkness, shade, shadow towards the right hand side, the side furthest from the light source itself. Same pencil, whether vertical or tapered. A little bit of a shadow possibly cast. I'm not going to put anything on the ground here, but just to reinforce the one object sitting on top of another in that particular object.